Hello and welcome to my top 5 Doctor Who books. Yes, this is sort of a response to Harry Williams' video, what he has recently put up. A link in the description will be to his top 5 Doctor Who books. It's right down there, description box. Yeah, please go and check his channel out. He's done some fantastic videos today and they're all of a high standard. Okay, so number 5 is a fairly recent book. And it's been a book I've really been anticipating since it was first announced, and I was a bit gutted when I found out that it was released as an ebook but not as a proper book. But when it was announced that it was getting a book release, I was really excited, and it is The Tales of Trenzalore. Now this fills in the gaps, to your knowledge, in the 11th Doctor, 11th Doctor's time on Trenzalore. Now I'm currently still reading this, and so far it's been of a high standard. I mean, it's got one of my favourite Doctor Who writers, which is Justin Richards. He's done some fantastic books for the past Doctor sort of range. You know, in the 90s, I suppose, he did the second Doctor book for the 50th anniversary reprint. I can't remember what it's called, but he did that one. But yeah, it's 4 mini stories containing these 4 monsters, which you probably can see. I am going to review this, so I don't really want to go into too much detail because I'll just spoil that review. So at number 5 is The Tales of Trenzalore. At number 4 I have chosen The Universe in 100 Items. This is a fantastic book. It has fantastic concept art. I mean, if I can just try and find it very quickly. I just find this brilliant, if I can just get it. There it is. I mean, this is probably my favourite concept art, the Dead Planet Dalek with all the mechanism inside. I just love that to bits. And the book itself starts off with the Big Bang, and it goes right up until the Toclophane, so the end of the universe, or the edge of the universe. And it's just brilliant. Obviously it goes through the universe throughout the years, using a certain object to tell that story, and it gives a bit of background information and the story it was from, and that's basically it. And it's definitely worthwhile because it tells you which Doctor can fly the TARDIS most accurately. I disagree personally, but it's definitely a book you need to check out because of its artwork, and it's just fantastic, really. So yeah, A History of the Universe in 100 Objects. At number 3 we have some sort of factual books, and it is Doctor Who magazine. Now Doctor Who magazine do a wide variety of magazines, from the magazine itself, what is monthly. They do special editions on the series itself, from the current series, so series 7 I suppose. And also they do essential guides for Doctor Who fans, such as the TARDIS, which is fairly new, and some of our favourite monsters, such as the Cybermen and the Daleks, but I don't have the Daleks one, the Doctors and the Companions. Yeah, so Doctor Who magazine I really enjoy. It's probably one of the highlights for me of the month, getting Doctor Who magazine. Yeah, it's just a brilliant magazine, really. It's sort of the older sort of fan, and it gives you a lowdown on merchandise coming out and items and news, Doctor Who wise anyway, and what to watch on YouTube, really, sort of editor's picks in a way. And the reviews are brilliant, and they really help you decide whether to get that product or not. So number 3, Doctor Who magazine. At number 2 I have chosen the 50th anniversary reprints. So each Doctor had their own sort of reprint of an adventure. I've got 4. I've got Last of the Gathering. Now this is probably the strongest what I've read out of the ones I have, because this was meant to be the final John Pertwee story, and it's been adapted into a novel by Mark Gatiss. And it's just a fantastic book. I just highly recommend it a lot. The next one I have really is the Festival of Death with the Tom Baker and Moana. Hopefully you can see this sort of skull sort of thing going on. Next one I have is Fear of the Dark, Peter Davison one, and I haven't read Earthfall because I got this on Saturday and I'm really intrigued by it. So at number 2 is the sort of 50th anniversary. So at number 1 I've chosen Doctor Who Revolts. This is probably my most prized possession in the Doctor Who books because it covers Doctor Who throughout its 50 years history, even the wilderness years, going through what was happening merchandise wise and conventions and stuff, and it's just really good. And if you can track it down, definitely get it because it has sort of lowdowns on the years and some of the production stuff. I can just get it, you know, like the designs and everything. It's just brilliant. I mean, it even gives you a sort of diagram of the set from when the Unearthly Child was there, so where the TARDIS would have been laid out and stuff. It's just fantastic. I mean, it goes right up until 2013 obviously, and I just find it a really good book and definitely is worth checking out. Hopefully you guys can see it, and it has this nice sort of spongy sort of cover, and it's just brilliant. It's high quality and it's definitely a brilliant product for Doctor Who books. I don't know if it's limited, but I doubt it, but yeah, it's just fantastic. I mean, it goes through the merchandise from that year, and I'm a big fan of looking what merchandise was released that year. So overall this is just a fantastic book for me, and it was a really well written book, and is definitely worth getting if you're, you know, a Doctor Who fan of books and you're interested in the history of the show. And it really goes in depth through that year. Honourable mentions, so the Target novelisations, they are fantastic. They're novelisations or adaptations of the classic series Doctor Who stories. Monsters Inside, now this was the first Doctor Who book I ever got, and it's just fantastic. I believe there's Slovenia in it from what I can remember from reading it. It's been a long time since I've read it, but I just remember loving it. It's a brilliant book. Next we have the sort of fact file books such as the Companions and Allies, Villains and Demons, no, Starships and Spaceships, then we have Villains and Demons I believe, yep, and then we have Monsters and Enemies, and we have Monsters and Villains. And I love these books to bits. They were sort of my ritual when they came out because I just adored them. Next up we have the Doctor's Who's Who. Now this is sort of an autobiography on each actor who's played the Doctor and going through their various roles through their careers, and it has some brilliant photos involving that Doctor and what have you, which is just brilliant to see, like those. And it's just fantastic really. There's been a new one for Peter Capaldi obviously, and it's a really good read. It's a bit battered because I took it to school and I would read it in English. When we had 15 minutes quiet reading, I'd read this, and it's a thoroughly enjoyable sort of autobiography in a way on all the actors who have played the Doctor. Then we have a graphic novel, The Only Good Dalek. Now this has references to the Dalek Master Plan, if I can just show you quickly. And I love the artwork on this. This is just fantastic. I mean, I read this in a day. I'm just trying to find it if it had any links to it. No, it doesn't look like I can find it, but this is a really good Dalek story. I know it includes the Paradigm Daleks, but they're actually pretty good in this, and they are quite brutish in this. Final honourable mention is the Doctor, His Life and Times. Now this is done through the Doctor's point of view, so sort of a diary, and sort of the Companion's point of view. And it goes through all the Doctor's various adventures through the first 50 years. and I'll just show you quickly inside. And it has contributions from, you know, people involved with the time. Yeah, it's just fantastic. It's definitely worth checking out because it is a really good book. So yeah, those of my honourable mentions. Hope you guys have enjoyed my top 5 Doctor Who books. Yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video, which will probably be my Series 1 review.